Okay, it's time for our weekly update on the quail chicks. This is week 2 now, and as you can see, they look a lot more like adult quail now than they did even just a week ago. But it's amazing how much they've grown in just 2 weeks. Check it out. They're already... That little guy, he's been vocal right from the start, since day one. You can hear his, or her, voice starting to change, that one in the back corner. But yeah, they're less peepee sounding and more like a proper quail. But check them all out. And look, this was the littlest one if you remember. And even he is quite large now compared to what he was. They're kind of going through an awkward stage. As you can see, his head is still like a fuzzy, downy yellow, and but he's got his wing feathers all grown in and stuff. So he's covered in feathers, but except for his head, which is still downy looking. But I'll be able to take the heat off them very soon. In fact, I should probably be able to take it off already. But it wouldn't hurt just to leave it on there for a few more days at least. But it's getting a little crowded, and cleaning is becoming a bit of a chore. They have gotten a lot better at jumping. They're testing out those wings of theirs, and I did have one jump out on me, but I managed to catch it. So all 15 are still here, but they're getting a little harder to maintain, and I kind of can't wait for them to join their parents. But here, let's look at a few of them, just so you can see just how much they've grown. 2 weeks ago I could fit like 5 of them in one hand, and now just one of them is kind of a handful. I don't know if that's the one I just had or not. And as you can see, yeah, they're not hand tamed by any means. Their water situation is a pain in the butt. I have to fill up multiple times per day. I did try it in something like this, but for some reason it just leaked out all over the place and made a bigger mess than it was worth. So yeah, time for them to move on. And in next week's video, that's exactly what we'll be doing. We'll be moving them in with their parents, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, these guys are almost all feathered out, and once that happens, you know, they can handle the cold just the same as their parents can, and they'll be ready for their new lives. I've heard that it's better to introduce them to the parents when they're still young, because then the parents don't view them as competition so much. So it allows more of a getting to know you period. Well, since we're here looking at these guys, and next week they'll be moving in with the adults, I figure it's probably a good time to take you out there and give you kind of a cage tour of the adult quail. Check out their digs and who's out there and how I take care of them. So let's go. Alright, so now it's time to take a look at the adults. This is my quail hutch, and I built this last fall, about September, October, at the same point in which I had kind of stopped making videos for the channel. So sorry that you guys didn't get to see the progress or anything, but there it is. And it's a little rough around the edges, but it works well. I'm not much of a carpenter. It's about 8 feet long and something over 2 feet deep. I don't remember how deep it is, but either way, 8 feet long, and it's adequate for my quail. As you can see, I got a open portion and then an enclosed portion here. Got some wheels on it, so I can move it around the garage or even outside if I want to. And let's open this thing up. I got some latches. My only regret with this is that I didn't make it taller. So as you can see, it can be kind of a pain to try to reach up in there with the door sitting down like that. But I wanted it low because I imagined myself putting cages of quail up on top of it as well. So I could have at least made a swinging door. Anyway, so here we go. There's a bunch of them over there. They're kind of nervous, I guess, about the camera. As you can see, they're kind of rough around the edges as well. Some of them are molting, some of them are just heavily bred by the 2 males that I have. So it's a rough life for quail, I guess. So they're a little disheveled. It's not unusual for them to be kind of rough with each other. but they're healthy. Most of my quail, all the female quail except for one, are jumbos. That one there with the white. I can't remember the other breeds. There's different breeds or morphs or whatever you want to call them of the quail. I think she's what they call a Tibetan. And then I have two males. One of them is, he's in the back corner there, so we'll see if he pops out. And then the other one is the white one, Gadnuk. He's the start of it all. Most of them are in the enclosed portion right now because they're taking dust baths. I just gave them some new sand, and they're pretty excited about that. That's one of their favorite things. There's one of the males. He's definitely not the prettiest quail that I have. His name is Stallone. And only the males have names because the females all look the same. And I think he's the father of most of my chicks because he is always very busy, and they all have markings kind of more similar to him. Really, Little Yellow's the only one that looks like Gadnuk. And let's see if we can peek in here without startling them. Look at that. Look at them all. Like I just caught them doing something they're not supposed to. They're a little alarmed. But you can see Gadnuk. And Gadnuk and Kevin were the start of it all. I got Gadnuk and Kevin. Kevin was a hen that died a couple years back. I got them at PetSmart. They were being sold as button quail. And I didn't know better. I thought they were button quail, but button quail are much smaller, like the size of the chicks. They're actually coturnix quail, and I think I paid $30 for the pair of them. Which I drastically overpaid because the other adults that I have now, I think I paid $4 per adult. But either way, I like Gadnuk a lot, so worth every penny. He's going on 4 years old, so he's kind of an old man, but he is happy. Much happier than he was when there was just him and Kevin in an aquarium. And then Kevin died, and I had him alone by himself for at least a year or so. So yeah, he's about as happy as could be now. Yeah, you can see that female next to him. She's got a bald spot in her back. That's from the males constantly climbing on there to breed. And they got a little sandbox in there. They love to take dust baths. And I got a light sitting up there, mostly for the winter time because it extends their photo period. They're more likely to lay if they have like 12 hours of daylight. Whoa, okay. And they can fly. They can fly. So, you gotta be a little careful with them. We'll just peek in on the side here. I guess, I don't know, I can't think of anything else really to say about them. They're super easy to take care of. They just live out here in my garage. Technically, I could fit about twice as many in here as there are. There's 11 of them. I did have 12, but I did lose one. And these are really they're livestock. They're not. I don't count them as pets per se. I do enjoy them and I like them. That's why I keep them. But they are livestock. I raise them for the eggs. I sell the eggs. Some people raise them for meat. I don't really do that. Although I have tried them and they're delicious. I just, prefer to raise them for the eggs. I guess. Call me a softie. But I would eat a couple if I had to. With the chicks, if I end up having too many males, that's what I'm going to probably have to do, is just eat them. But hey, circle of life, I'm not a vegetarian. But yeah, super easy to take care of. They just live out in the garage all year round, even in the winter. And they eat game bird food. Let's see if I got a bag laying around. Empty bag. Yeah, this is what they eat. Purina game bird chow. And that's what I've been feeding the chicks as well, without any problems. Some people grind it up for the chicks so that they can eat it better. I didn't, and everyone seemed okay. Had no problems there. So I don't think grinding it up is really necessary. They pick out the smaller bits if they can't eat the bigger ones. But they grow so fast that they eventually can eat the bigger ones anyway. And that about does it for this video, guys. Let me know if you liked it, and I'll be making another one next week where I put the babies in here. We'll see how that goes. It'll more than double my population, so unfortunately it'll create a little bit more work for me. I'll have to clean it more often, but that's what the wire bottom is for, so the poop falls through. It doesn't cake up on their feet. The wire bottom is better for them than a solid floor, and if you had a solid floor you wouldn't be able to keep as many together. But they do have, as you know, that section over there, so if they want to get off the wire for a while or go in there to sleep and get comfortable, they can. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video, and if you want to see more like it about the quail, if you have any questions about them, let me know. And I'll come back with some more quail videos next week.